Hi, everyone. My name is Darren Edelman, and welcome so much to our webinar. Depending on where you are in the world, I want to wish you a good morning, a good afternoon, or a good evening. I want to welcome all of you from all over the world. Also, for those of you that tried to tune in this morning, I apologize. We had scheduled another webinar, and there was just some technical issues. I was here, our tech crew was here, the computers just weren't functioning. So I apologize for that, and I'm sure that this is going to be well worth your time if you have to reschedule anything like that. I want to just tell you very briefly about myself and why I'm here talking to you. I've been a certified professional resume writer, that's a CPRW, since about the year 2000. After writing for a couple of years, gained a lot of experience, I've eventually asked to consult with most of the major career service companies in the world: Ladders, Career Builder, Monster, RiseSmart, JobFox, many others. And like most of you tuning in, I've gone through many different career periods in my life. I had to look for work, I had to look for better work, etc. So I think I have a lot of shared experiences that most of you have. I went through a couple of different career periods. I was working in veterinary science for a while, nonprofit business, education. After several years of working as a teacher, I realized that there weren't a whole lot of teachers on the Fortune 500 list, and I needed to supplement my income. So I used the skills that I had to find a part-time job, and found that there is such a thing as people that dedicate their career to helping other people get a good career, and I thought that was pretty cool. So I started doing that. Over the years, I've been asked to give different lectures, seminars, and I speak to various groups, whether those are prisoners that are about to be released and need some serious work on career gaps, or people in retirement that need to come back to the workforce, or C-level executives, college students first getting into the workforce, all kind of really fun challenges. And so I'm here with you today to share my experience. My goal for us today is that you're going to be able to take away high quality real world content and immediate actionable items, understand if you are currently going through a job search, to identify the pain points and where your job search is lacking or not working, if you're about to start your job search, so how to be able to create a very successful, effective job search that is going to get you the job that you seek with minimum pain and suffering. A job search is not pleasant most of the time, and you could generally tell how successful you are by how quickly it ends. So I'm going to be giving out a lot of information for you today. Please have a tablet or a pen or paper or a computer handy. I'm going to be giving out some good websites that I recommend and different ideas that you might want to jot down. At a later period, once we finish, we're going to have the website up on the webinar up on YouTube. So you'll be able to view it at your convenience. If you look at the right side of your screen, you should have a space for questions. And Matt Mallory is here with us today. She's our administrator, and she'll be taking care of the questions. So some of you have sent some in already. As I go through the webinar, hopefully I'll answer most of them. Feel free to type in any kind of questions. And if I've already answered them during the webinar, I apologize, I don't mean to skip over you, but I'm going to have to skip over them and get to any kind of data or information that I haven't covered. Also, you could always feel free to email me. You should see on my screen my email. You could always contact me. I love working with people, so if you have a resume or LinkedIn profile or anything like that that you would want me to work with you on, then always feel free to email me. We're going to be actually sending out a couple of different offers during the webinar for discounts. So if you see those come by, please feel free to click on those. Let's see. Okay, let's get going, shall we? Uh, Second. Um, and when I go through different pages, depending on your connection, you might see it a bit blurry, but please don't freak out. That is only going to be there for a few seconds, and then your screen should clear up. So let's see. Okay, let's get to it. Let's see. Okay, so okay, we can see the screen well. Okay, great. So today we are going to learn cutting edge job search strategies. If you asked me for one resource, you only had time for one website, one resource, what would I use to make my job search the most quick and effective as possible? So my answer to you would be LinkedIn. Stay tuned and find out why. Now, that doesn't mean that other social media sites like Facebook or Twitter should be completely ignored. They actually are a valuable resource and one of the best ways to uncover the hidden job market, which most of you have heard much about. And I'll be speaking about how that works during the webinar. Lastly, there's a saying that I really, really love, which is your resume is one of the most critical documents you have in your life. When it works, you do. When it doesn't, you don't. And both your resume and LinkedIn profile must be able to properly exploit SEO to be able to get employers and recruiters to come to you. A job search is a whole lot more fun if employers and recruiters come to you rather than you spending your time on these huge job boards, sending your resume into the black hole that just disappears, and you just sit there frustrated. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. Now, at the end of the webinar, hopefully this will make it up for you people that also were tried to get in the one this morning. We have actually a very, very, very special free offer. We're going to give you a free gift that you're going to find very, very valuable, just as valuable and useful as all of the information you're going to learn today, and in some ways even more so because it helps you in a way that a webinar can't. So let's move on. Okay, your job search. So in order to talk about a job search, I have to talk first about what comes before a job search, and that is getting your resources ready for battle. I tell my clients that you should view your job search as a battle, and just like you could squeak by if you just use the Army or just use your Navy, if you want to end the battle as quickly, decisively, and as effectively as possible, you have to use all of your resources. You have to use your Army, your Air Force, and your Navy. And that translates in your job search to having a quality resume and cover letter that is concise and inviting read. It clearly delineates your value, what you bring to the company, your strengths and experience, and it positions you as not just a candidate, because there's hundreds of those, but as the ideal candidate that the employer would have to be crazy not to want to interview you. Secondly, it is your LinkedIn profile and social media resources. This should be up and optimized as best as possible. And thirdly is continuously learning. So you might be great on interviews, you might know how to negotiate your salary and benefits, but there are constantly things going on the internet, new apps, websites that you might be using like LinkedIn or Facebook or anything. They might come out with brand new resources and tools that help you on your job search. The only way you can stay on top of that is dedicating a certain amount of your time to seeing what's out there on your job search. Let's see. So if you remember way back about 30 seconds ago, I said you should view your job search as a battle. So just ignore that. I'm kidding. You should view it as a battle in the same way you should view your job search as a job and set a scheduled time to go through it. Um, just like if you go to the gym, just kind of once in a while when you feel like it, you're probably not going to get a whole lot of results. If you schedule a gym time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., number one, you're going to have results. And number two, you are now empowered to quantify your success. So on your job search, if you spend 1 hour a week, let's say Friday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., searching for jobs, so let's say you find 50 good job matches, get 5 interviews. So now you know what to do to increase that or decrease that. If you spend 50% more time, you're going to get hopefully 50% more matches and 50% more interviews. If you spend less time, you'll get less. There are many multiple parts, moving parts to your job search. Part of that is building up your LinkedIn profile, applying to job leads, researching online. For example, something that hopefully you should be able to find in your industry are niche job boards, or niche, depending on where you are in the world. So for example, if you're a registered nurse, an RN, you should be able to find the job board for Kaiser. You should be able to find a job board that focuses on medical jobs. You could probably find a job board that specializes in healthcare jobs in New York. So very, very specific things. You should be able to find blogs and videos, books, apps, etc. And this is basically, this percent chart is sort of what a successful job search should look like, even though there's more than 2 things going on. Always keep in mind the 80-20 rule, which is a phenomena that is true throughout many facets of life. It basically states that 80% of your results generally come from 20% of the things you're doing. In sales, this is very common. Generally, in a sales organization, 80% of that organization's income is coming from only 20% of the people. And throughout life, that generally holds true, the 80-20 rule. So let's say you started your job search with 50% of your time on the large job boards, Monster, Career Builder, etc., applying to everything. 25% of your time building up your LinkedIn profile, getting references, getting people to click on those skills, searching for jobs on LinkedIn. And let's say you spent 25% of your time looking for new job search strategies. So after a week, if you found, let's say, 100 jobs on LinkedIn, 20 jobs on the other job boards, and 2 niche job boards. So what I would recommend is adjust your search, stop looking on those large job boards because they're not being productive, and move to 50% of your time on LinkedIn, 25% of your time on these new job boards that you found. And at this point, you probably need to spend about 25% of your time going on interviews. So throughout your job search, I recommend always quantifying your success, examining what's working, what's not, and sticking with what's working. Okay, let's move on to the hidden job market. So I want to ask you a question, and you could really just answer to yourself. What percent of jobs do you think are in the public? So what percent of jobs are listed on the large job boards, put in newspaper classified ads? Assuming there are still newspapers out there, I'm not really sure if they exist still. So would you say 50% of jobs posted are public and 50% are hidden? Would you say it's more 60-40? Well, please be sure you're sitting down. Please take a deep breath. It is actually most certified career coaches and people that are experts in the career services field, they estimate, and most studies have confirmed this, that up to 85% of job leads are hidden. Why is this? It's not because HR people are evil or they're trying to hide from you. They want to do their job as effectively as possible, as you all do. And if you consider from their side, the cost of placing ads, the cost of going through all these large search campaigns, it's enormous. Um, Also, think for a minute, and this is another question you can answer. Once a company posts a job, so let's say Amazon, Starbucks, whoever it is, Kaiser, Pfizer, whoever, posts a job, how long does it take for them to receive their first applicant? So do you think within 30 minutes of posting the lead, they get a resume? Do you think it's more 15 minutes, 10 minutes? So again, please be sure you're sitting down, take a deep breath. The answer that we have from studies, I believe up until 2014, is 3 minutes and 33 seconds. 3 minutes, yeah, 33 seconds. That's how long it takes for an employer to get their first response. And if you could imagine how many applicants most open jobs get, it depends on the industry, but it's generally between 200 to 250 applicants per open job. So these HR people need to, if they just threw a job onto a job board, they would be receiving hundreds of unqualified people that they need to work through, and they don't want to do that. So how do we find this hidden job market and find where these jobs are? So again, if I mentioned earlier that if you asked me what one job site you should use, that job site would be LinkedIn. And again, I don't work for LinkedIn. I'm not compensated for them in any way. However, if you are good friends with Jeff Weiner is the CEO of LinkedIn, please have him email me, and I would like to speak to him about possible compensation. Why do I say LinkedIn though? LinkedIn, there's a great study online that you can see yourself. It's from JobVite, JOBVITE, that's one word, .com. You can see the entire study. I just want to give you some numbers. 80% of all recruiters use LinkedIn to find candidates. Guess how many employers and HR professionals use LinkedIn to research a candidate? Over 90%. That means that's where they're looking at you and monitoring your behavior. So you're not being paranoid if they really are looking at you. 95% of employers and recruiters use LinkedIn to contact people. So even if they're finding you on Monster and other job boards, a large majority of them are looking at you on LinkedIn, trying to find you there, and contacting you there through LinkedIn. Now let's think about the other sites. Definitely want to mention them. However, they probably don't want me to mention these numbers. So while 92% of recruiters hire people through LinkedIn, guess how many through Facebook? 24%. And how about Twitter? Twitter is good for certain things, but in terms of recruiters, 14% of recruiters have reported hiring people through LinkedIn. Where are these hidden jobs? 92% of employers say that they post jobs on LinkedIn. Facebook, 48%, and Twitter, hopefully you're not too big a Twitter fan, but it's down to 39%. So that's the why I suggest LinkedIn. And now let me tell you the how. How do you maximize your LinkedIn profile? How do you get recruiters and employers to come to you? So the main thing is your profile needs to be complete. And what that means is your picture. What is this? Yeah, so if you have a picture, you're 11 times more likely to be visited. Human beings like other human beings. You need your current position and at least 2 past positions. Generally, you want to cover about 5 or 10 years career-wise. You don't want to go too much farther back because they might date you and ageism might be a problem. And you don't want to have really fewer than 3 if possible. A well-done profile summary, similar to your resume, that should detail your value, your strengths, your skills, your experience, and why you are the best candidate for a job you're looking for. And you need to say that within about 2,000 words. Skills, these are the key terms that employers look for. So on LinkedIn, be sure that you have the right skills for your job, and you get as many people as possible to click on those and endorse you for those. If you looked at my LinkedIn profile, which hopefully you're concentrating on this webinar, this fantastic webinar, and not traveling around. But after the webinar, please feel free to visit me. You'll see the key terms that people look for when they're searching for a resume writer, like resume and resume writer. I have hundreds of people that endorse me for that. On LinkedIn, it only shows up to 99. So try to get 100 people, and then at that point, nobody knows how many people you have endorsing you. Be sure to have your education, at least 3 recommendations or testimonials from people. And what that means is at least 1 per job. So you want to have people that come onto your LinkedIn profile and give you a kudo or recommendation. What kind of people should you ask? Workmates, employers, depending on when you graduated. If professors still remember you, try to get a professor or someone. Also consider people outside your work life. So people from church, people from volunteer work, neighbors, family, friends. Employers look for 2 things on references and recommendations. Number 1 is who that person is. So is this person the CEO of your company? Or your supervisor? Is he someone very well known? And number 2 is what they say. So if you're in IT and Bill Gates has recommended you for something, or Steve Jobs, depending on what side of the fence you sit on, whatever he said, as long as it's not too insulting, put it on your profile. You probably want to reference it in your resume, put it on your summary, showcase as much as you can. If the person is not so famous, but he said mentioned certain key strengths and skills, that is excellent to put on your profile and actually in your resume. So if you're in sales and the person mentioned that he saw you, that there was an account that was about to go to a competitor, and you actually brought it back through your negotiation skills, that would be fantastic to be able to put on. Let's see. So let's see. Here is other social media. So while LinkedIn is generally number 1, you should definitely consider Facebook, Twitter in your job search. Here's Facebook. I think this was fairly recently. They actually gave you a new tool to work on that you could search for friends in the workplace. So if you have a LinkedIn Facebook profile, put in company name, Apple, Kaiser, IBM, whoever it is, and you could see how many friends you have in that company. Hopefully they could give you a back door. They could tell you who you should be contacting. They could let you know about job openings before they're open, and that's always very helpful. One of the ways that HR people get away from public job searches is something that more and more companies are doing, which is internal recruitment programs. So before a job opens, many companies tell their employees, hey, we have a job opening up, let us know if you know anyone. They much rather get a reference from someone who's already worked in their company as opposed to just finding someone out on the street. So the more people that you could find in a company you want to work for, connect with them, let them know that in a very polite way that you're currently looking for a job. If they have any kind of advice or know anything, please let you know. You'd be surprised how many people are able and willing and love helping. If you asked me one word that could resolve the hidden job market and solve that problem, and you asked me to sum it up in one hyphenated word, that hyphenated word would be people power. So the more people that you have that know that you're looking for work, the more hidden job markets become unhidden. And just factually, the more people you have, in fact, you kind of hired to search for you, the more people that you have searching for you, the quicker you're going to find whatever it is that you're looking for. Let's see. So let's look at Twitter, for example. Twitter has had this for a few years where you could search for jobs. So all you need to do is put in a key search term like accounting jobs, And here's PricewaterhouseCoopers, a very key consulting firm, very well known, Fortune 50 or so. Um, and you'll get a bunch of jobs. Now, most likely, these jobs are not on the large job boards. So if you're on Twitter and you see these, this might be a better place than those larger job boards. Let me show you one other resource, and I need to bring up a new slide. Hopefully this should be not too painful. Bring it up. 1 second. Okay, and here we have a site I highly recommend, which is Glassdoor. And let's see, as well. So they have a fantastic tool that helps you to integrate through Facebook. So what you do is you can see here how many friends that you have and how many different companies. You can see available jobs, that's over here, C, available jobs and your friends that work there. And D, what companies you have that have the most, that you have the most connection with. So that's here. So this person has Expedia. He has 118 or so inside connections. The next one would be Microsoft. Looks like about 59 connections. So especially if you really want to find certain companies in certain industries, this would be a fantastic tool to use. Glassdoor has a bunch of other resources, so I highly recommend checking them out. Let me get back to my show. Okay, 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Hang with us. Okay, let's go back to Twitter. Okay, so if so based on what you've been hearing from me so far, you might be saying to yourself that what I'm telling you to do is spend 50% of your time applying to job boards, 50% of your time on LinkedIn, building your profile, 50% of your time on Facebook and Twitter, and 50% of your time on company websites or niche job boards. So no, that's not what I'm saying. Mathematically and realistically, that's not actually possible. So really what you want to know is, how do you deal with so many websites? Well, there's a website for that. And these are called meta sites. So two ones that I really recommend are Indeed.com and CareerArc.com. What mega sites do is they take data from a whole bunch of different sites and put it onto one single dashboard for you. So with Indeed.com, they're great for jobs. Generally, if you are on Monster and you find job A, and you're on Career Builder, you find job B, had you gone to Indeed.com, you would have found job A and B and C. CareerArc, that actually used to be called Tweet My Jobs, and that actually integrates Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and several other applications. So the single job that would be on Twitter, a bunch of jobs that would be on LinkedIn, a few jobs on Facebook, you would get them all sent to you. CareerArc and Indeed.com also offer keywords emailed to you. So let's say you're a CPA, you could go onto Indeed or CareerArc and type in key search terms, for example, CPA, CFO, accounting jobs, corporate accountant, type of terms that you would find in your job. And Indeed.com will email you either daily or weekly every job that's on their site that has that term in it. CareerArc will email you or tweet you or send it directly to your phone. If you were wondering why it takes a bit over 3 minutes for someone to send their resume, these sites are the reason. The second that someone anywhere in the world posts a job, boom, a person attached to the site gets it, their resume is saved, they send it on their phone, and they're ahead of the gap. Let me just go through a few apps. There's great ones that have been around for many years, and my clients have had a lot of success with it. There's new ones popping up all the time. Some lead to great results, some are not worth your time. Good updated list you could generally find on these sites, jobsearch.about.com and Business News Daily. I want to just give a few good examples. Um, JobAware for Apple, that's for many years it's been the highest rated job app. It lets you compare jobs in different cities, salary data, a whole bunch of stuff. Monster has a Facebook app, Career Builder. Career Friend is a good one. For Android and Apple, you have the site Intro. That's really an interesting one because that actually deals with real live human beings as opposed to just websites and profiles. It integrates into your social media network, so it lets you know what contacts you have. It helps to introduce you to them, and it actually notifies you about tech events, webinars, professional events, social meetups, etc., with people in your network. Let's see. Okay, and one of my particular favorite subjects is a resume. Your resume is really the root of your job search. It's what employers look to find you on, whether you're on a job board. And it really serves as the first impression before you are able to do an interview. Um, many things have changed. The way people search for jobs 20 years ago, 5 years ago, has changed a great deal. And one thing that hasn't changed is resume. Resume is really you telling the employer your story, and it's really an essential part of the job search and the reason that companies hire people. So it's something that I don't see fading out, even as job boards and certain apps become more and more popular and more used. I don't see the resume going away anytime soon. Your resume and profile, one of the most important things that gets it seen by employers is SEO. What is SEO? That's a very good question, and I have a very good answer for that. Search engine optimization. It was originally used by job companies that if you are purchasing an accordion, so on their website needs to be the term accordion and the key search terms many times. So when you go on Google and you search for, I want to buy an accordion, their website comes up on the first page. It translates into your job search because when an employer types in project manager, secretary, whatever job you're seeking, your resume hopefully should come up first, whether it's a job board or LinkedIn or whatever. Where do I get SEO terms from? The number one place is straight from the horse's mouth, and that horse is the employer. So here is a job lead. This is a real live job lead from Indeed.com, a very typical one from an IT manager. So you have here the role description, responsibilities, and requirements. And here are your SEO terms. If you should have on your resume, your profile, these are skills that should be on your LinkedIn profile. These strengths should be written in your summary. The employer is going to look that you have global IT infrastructure experience with LAN and WAN, a bachelor's degree, at least 8 years experience, knowledge of key compliance issues like HIPAA and SOX, etc. It's very important also, I'm going a little fast because we're starting to run out of time, and there's just so much to say, but the important thing is to use the correct term for the skill that you're trying to get a job for. How do you find what that term is? Well, here's a great website for that. It's Indeed.com, and they have job trends. So what you do is, let's say you're a PMP certification, that's a project management professional. So there's obviously a lot of ways to say that. You could say project management, you could say PMP. What should you say? So let's try to bring this up a bit more. So these are job trends from the year 2006 to present. If you use the term PMP, if you use the term PMP, it doesn't even look like about 1% of the jobs on their site have that term. Project management professional, you're going up to about 4% of the jobs on their site have that. The most, so the term that you should be using to capture the most amount of jobs is very general. Just put project management and you'll reach, it looks like, up to 12% of the jobs. Let's see. And obviously, depending on your industry, this could be computer programs. So, if you're secretary, probably Microsoft Office, could be job title like CPA. Think about key things that you use on your job, key resources, think about your job title, the job title that you're going for. And if you search on these websites and start finding job titles, plug it in there and see how popular they are. Let's see. Okay, let's try to go through quickly another really great resource, which is the word cloud. Employers use, for the most part, more and more of them are using applicant tracking systems, or ATS, which is a program that checks your SEO terms on your resume before it gets seen by a human. If you don't have the right terms and right number of times that term is used, your resume does get seen by the trash. If it does, then it passes on to a real human. Another great resource to see how well your resume is doing with SEO are these two sites, TagCrowd and Wordle. And what that does is produce a word cloud. Let's see if we have time. Bring that up. If you see a good example. I have one here from a secretary. Let's see. Stick folks. Okay, so here you should be seeing this okay. This is a word cloud. So if you go to those sites, put your resume in there, this is what you get. It shows you the number of times that word is used. So this was an administrative assistant. So administrative 5, Angels and Los, this is because the person lived in Los Angeles, all our jobs were in Los Angeles. So that's why Los Angeles is put here many times. But the key ones, customer, so customer service, management, administration, assist, client, these are all used several times, office, etc. Okay, we're about ready to go on to your questions. So if you do have questions, please send them through. We have a lot already, so I'm going to try to go through as many as I can. Let me bring up let's see. Up. Come on, document. There you go. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So, in conclusion, I hope that you learned a good deal. We had a short time together, but hopefully you gained something from it. Again, if now during the webinar, also you should have seen some offers for me to work with you if you do need help creating your profile, resume, etc. I love working with people. I'm happy to review your resume. If you just need some quick advice, happy to do that. The advice is free. If you do need a complete top-to-bottom redo of your resume, or you've never in your life had a resume, just definitely email me, connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'd be happy to help. Let's see. So let me just do a very quick review in a few seconds. Let's see. see. Uh, so let me review very quickly. Um, so hopefully today what you learned was that it's essential to prepare yourself. Proper prevention prevents poor performance. I had a history teacher who used to tell us that every day, and it is true. Um, so you need the right documents, you need the right profile. It's important to schedule time, a set time for your job search. Think of it like a job and set a certain time. Be sure to use every possible resource, apps, online tools, networking, and constantly adjust your schedule to what works. Explain the importance of the job market. It's basically that's where all the jobs are, why it exists, and many strategies to uncover these jobs and exploit it and find those jobs before everyone else. Key things like networking, finding people in those companies, and keeping watch on mega sites. That'll give you the best bang for your buck. Lastly, we briefly covered SEO, which is one of the most important parts of your resume and your profile, and how it gets employers and recruiters to come to you rather than you have to go to them. So I now want to get on to our mega deal. Very special free offer. And what we actually have the benefit of is a job search expert that has offered to give a free 30-minute consultation for you. Everyone who made it through this entire webinar, if you're still alive and awake. So anyone that is involved in HR, recruiting, or general career services knows this name, Sharon McCormick. She's a well-published author, noted speaker, expert in many degrees about coaching. She really specializes in things like career testing, career service programs, etc. So please write down, this is her phone number. Please check out her website. Please write down her phone number and email. Give her a call and tell her that you saw her on the job search seminar, and she will set an appointment with you for a free 30-minute consultation. You'll find it extremely valuable and helpful, and I think it could give you some very key skills and resources. Let's see. Okay, we have some questions coming through. So let me go with you live and get them. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Okay, great. So I'm in Asia, earning my engineering degree, and want to work in the U.S. I have the U.S. green card. Should I put that in my profile and resume that I don't need a visa or travel expenses? Could that be hurting my job search? Okay, actually, this is a very good question because we actually have people from all over the world tuning in. And this is a key question when you're asking about, these are actually H-1B visas that you're talking about. On your profile or resume, generally, you don't want to focus on what you need or what you don't need. You want to focus on what the employer needs. Your entire resume, your entire profile should be focused on what the employer needs and how you resolve that problem for him. Let's see. Now, there could be some red flags if an employer sees that your school is in Japan or China or the Philippines. If all of your past job are in that location, and yet you're applying to a U.S. job. So to eliminate any kind of red flags, something you could do is get a Skype number or another number, which is a U.S. number. Also on a resume, nowadays we don't put really the entire address. So you don't need really nobody really gets snail mail anymore. So all you need is a U.S. phone number, and you put your email, and it appears that you're here in the U.S. Especially if you know the area that you want to work in, and you can choose the area code. Um, Another possibility, though, is to put your physical address if you get a USPO box, or if you have a contact here in the US that can accept mail for you or whatever, to put an actual physical US address. Uh, let's see. Okay, next question. I like what you said about having other people working for you in your job search. Okay, welcome. Aside from doing things online and networking with your contacts, are there other ways to have people tell you about job openings? Yeah, very much so. There's resources that are old school resources. They've been used forever and are still very great tools to use. Um, Consider joining local organizations, um, volunteer organizations, consider Chamber of Commerce, Toastmasters, consider volunteer work if you have time like that. And there's actually a great deal of online sites. I apologize for mentioning an online site to do things offline, but there's good resources for that. There's a site like meetup.com, which is more a social site. It's where people set up social groups, but there are actually job search groups on there. There's networking groups on there. There's actually everything under the sun, from speed dating to stamp collecting to people doing morning runs together. So you can check out groups there actually related even to a hobby of yours, a hobby or a passion of yours or something like that, and connect with local people. And once people get to know you, put it out there that you are looking for a job, if you know of any openings or resources or anything like that. Next question. I use the major job boards like CareerBuilder and Monster. What are the niche job boards that you mentioned? So to find them, search for terms related to your career. So for example, CPA, search on Google for accounting jobs, accounting job boards, CPA job boards, best accounting jobs. Search terms like that, and you'll find, you'll be surprised what you find. There's also ones for project work. So let's say you're CPA, let's say you've been unemployed for a while, there's a gap. One way to eliminate that gap is to get part-time projects. Also, if there's a certain company you want to target, let's say you love Apple, you love Nike or whoever. So you could look at some sites that are considering, I think I just lost my camera. Hopefully you're still seeing me. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. That was one of the tech issues we had. I kept disappearing. Let's see. Oh boy. Okay, well, let me just speak from here. Yeah, okay. All right, well, let me just speak for here right now. So we want to get through these questions, and actually the webinar's going to be over pretty soon. So let me just do 2 more. Oh, the job boards, yeah. So project work, check out sites like Upwork. Actually, that used to be called Odesk. It's now called Upwork. It's actually the largest freelancing site with over 1 million members. You could get in the back door to a company. Let's say like, let's say that Nike might have some part-time projects. So you start working for them part-time. You can actually start networking, finding the key contacts there, and you start to develop a reputation that you actually get things done well, and you could start. And now I'm back. All right. Hope you don't mind. I keep disappearing like this. As long as you hear the sound of my voice, we're in good shape. Just a few more sites. collegerecruiter.com. That is actually a website that's a niche job board for entry-level jobs. So if you're in college, just getting out, that's a great site to check out. Toptool.com, that's TOPTAL. That's a great project site. They actually have some Fortune 500 people on their site. They have jobs from JP Morgan, Zendesk, and they actually host community meetups and tech events, and could, I believe, actually also hook you up with local events. So that might be a good site. All right, do we have time for one more question? Okay, let's do one more question. This is actually a good one. You had all the numbers for how great LinkedIn is. Why would I spend my time on the other sites like Facebook and Twitter? Good question. So again, if you have the time, um, then this relates to what I said at the beginning, that you really need to use every possible resource to get your job search over as quickly as possible. And while it's true that most recruiters are only using LinkedIn and they recruit from LinkedIn, the fact is that Facebook has over 1 billion users, which is about 5 times bigger than LinkedIn. And more people generally means more opportunities. You could have Facebook connections that have a backdoor to the company. So again, we saw those sites that actually use your Facebook friends and your Facebook profile and integrates that into your job search. So if you don't have a lot of contacts on LinkedIn and you do have a lot on Facebook, that's a great resource to leverage. Twitter is the most popular platform for advice. So while it's not big on recruiting, it's great for advice. So that would be a great resource. Maybe spend 1% of your time. Just go on there maybe once a week and just put out there that, hey, I'm looking for a job in X, Y, and Z. I'm looking for, a project management job in Toledo. Can anyone help? And you might get something. Really, the most effective thing, as I mentioned, are those mega sites, because that way you can minimize the amount of time that you spend on social media and dedicate your time to the other resources. Let's see. So that is about all we have time for. There's just really so much to say. And let's see. Uh, we are going to probably later today send you out a survey. It's going to be very brief. It should take really less than a minute to fill out. We want to hear your feedback. If now it's totally anonymous, so feel free to insult me as much as you want. If you gained something from this webinar, if you didn't gain anything, if you would like certain other subjects, we have other people that we're organizing other webinar subjects with. If you have certain subjects that you are really important to you in career-related topics, let's say how to specifically create a resume or create a LinkedIn profile. I didn't go into those in depth. How to negotiate for salary and benefits, any subject like that we want to hear from you. And so please take about a minute or so and fill out our survey. Let's see. So I want to thank you again so much for your time. I hope I was a benefit for you. Please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. And we had throughout the webinar those special offers, special discount. I would love to work with you. If you need any kind of help, feel free to contact me at my email or through LinkedIn, and I'd love to work with you and get your job search over as quickly as possible. Have a wonderful evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much.